Hello, my name is William Clark, and this is my audition for the 2021 Texas Shakespeare Festival Roadshow. My first monologue will be as Proteus from Two Gentlemen of Verona. Even as one heat another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so the remembrance of my former love is by a newer object, quite forgotten. Is it mine or Valentine's praise, her true perfections, or my false transgressions that makes me reasonless to reason thus? She is fair, and so is Julia that I love. That I did love, for now my love is thawed, which like a waxen image against the fire bears no impression of the thing it was. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and that I love him not as I was wont. Oh, but I love his lady too much, and that's the reason I love him so little. How shall I dote on her with more advice, when that which without advice began to love her? 'Tis but her picture I have yet beheld, and that hath dazzled my reason's light. But when I look on her perfections, there is no reason but I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her, I'll use my skill. Thank you. My second monologue is as Byron from Love's Labour's Lost. Thank you. And I, forsooth, in love, I, that have been love's whip, a very beetle to a humorous sigh, critic, nay, a night watch constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy than whom no mortal so magnificent, this wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior junior, giant dwarf, Don Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, great sole imperator, and great general of other trotting imperators. Oh, my little heart. And I, to be a corporal in his field, and wear his colors like a tumbler's hoop. Oh, what? I love? I sue? I seek a wife. A woman that is like a German clock, still a-repairing, ever out of frame, and never going aright. Being a watch, but being watched, that it may still go right. Nay, to be perjured, that is worst of all. And among three, to love the worst of all, a whitely wanton with a velvet brow, and two pitchballs stuck in her face for eyes, and I, one that will do the deed, though Argus were her eunuch and her guard. And I, to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to. It is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty dreadful little might. Well, I will love, write, sigh, pray, sue, and groan. Some men must love my lady, and some Joan. Thank you. For my song, I will be singing Chip on My Shoulder from Legally Blonde. Thank you. Okay. I grew up in the Roxbury slums with my mom and a series of bums, guys who showed me all the ways a man can fail. I got through law school by busting my ass, worked 2 jobs in addition to class, so forgive me for not weeping at your tale. You know what? You're right. There's a chip on my shoulder, and it's big as a boulder. But with the chance I've been given, I've gotta be driven as hell. I'm so close I can taste it, and I'm not gonna waste it. Yeah, I've got a chip on my shoulder. You might want to get one as well. Thank you. Hello, my name is William Clark. I am 22 years old and I am an actor in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I am a recent college graduate. In May, I got my Bachelor of Arts in Theater with an emphasis in acting and directing from Texas Women's University. And then in 2019, I got my Associate of Arts in Theater from Tyler Junior College. A little bit about myself. I just finished my first summer with the Texas Shakespeare Festival, and I was a patron services intern for that, and it was so much fun. I loved working with everyone there, and I would love to work with you guys again, which is why I'm auditioning for the Roadshow in the first place. Recent stage work that I've done: in February, I was in the Greek tragedy Electra as Patagogus, and that was a crazy one. It was the world premiere translation of the particular script we were doing. So it was the first time we were saying these exact lines and telling this particular story of Electra, and it hosted one of my favorite monologues I've ever done, which is telling the story of how Orestes died at the games, and I love doing that. And then in April, I was in Hot and Cole, a Cole Porter celebration, which is basically a musical review of about 30-ish songs that Cole Porter wrote over the course of his life. And stuff like Anything Goes, You're the Top, Big Town. My personal favorite is Tale of the Oyster. That was one I sang, usually an operatic piece from 50 Million Frenchmen, and I turned it into this big show-stopping number, and it was a lot of fun. This would be my first experience with a real company touring a show. I have some minor touring experience with TJC. I was in a program called Fairy Tale Theater, and what we did in that was groups of about 5 or 6 of us would take classic fairy tales and turn them into short 10, 15-minute productions, and then we would tour them around to local elementary schools in the area. I think by the time we finished that program out, we went to about 20 elementary schools, and my group ended up doing Hansel and Gretel, and I, of course, played Hansel, yeah, and that was a lot of fun, and I just loved it a lot. So that's my minor touring experience. A musical experience, as far as it goes, I've been singing pretty much my whole life. I'm a tenor baritone range, and I do play some piano, not a lot, and I'm certainly not Mozart, but with some time and practice, I can certainly pluck out a tune. And then as far as sword fighting or stage combat, I do have some minor sword fighting experience. When I did Hamlet, I learned some basic long sword choreography, and so I do have some experience with that. I've loved Shakespeare's plays ever since I started studying them in high school. Hamlet was the first one I ever tried to, when I sat down and really tried to figure out what exactly he was saying. That was the first one. But I also am a huge fan of his comedies. Two Gentlemen of Verona is one of my favorites of his. Although it's considered to be kind of a weaker play, I love it a lot, and that's why I did my Proteus monologue from that. But I love Twelfth Night, I love As You Like It, and I would certainly love to be a part of both of those shows with your Roadshow. So thank you so much for watching my audition video, and I hope to hear back from you. Thank you so much.